I'm Paul Flanagan, and this is my daughter Alana. Alana's 21. We brought Alana here to be her permanent home, and it's turned out to be an amazing experience. She's doing very well, and we're very happy. When you're looking for a place like this, you're really looking for something that's skilled enough that will be able to take care of them, but also to have that feeling of a home. And that's what we found with Emmaus Home. They were nurturing, and that really becomes very important when you're considering that this is their new home.
Our people with disabilities oftentimes are invisible and ignored, but at Emmaus Home, we celebrate their dignity just for being a child of God. I founded Emmaus Home 9 years ago when I didn't see anything out there that could match the love of family. It's the best thing I've ever done in my life.
You can never let go of your child, but you can let go by trusting they're in a safe place. And I was concerned that she was just going to be another person lost in the system. And I never felt that here.
We provide homes for adults with intellectual developmental disabilities that want to be independent, and we try to give them a beautiful life. God always seemed to place me around people with disabilities. I only have one sibling, and he has severe paranoid schizophrenia. And then my own son, my fourth child, Kevin, has severe autism and intellectual disabilities and epilepsy.
Growing up, it was challenging. Sometimes he was very embarrassing, like he took cartons of milk and demanded to have 20 cartons instead of just 2 or 3. Over time, it was just what Kevin did, and that's how I started caring for him. He was there, my brother, and we all took turns supporting him and trying to help him. He was the catalyst to start Emmaus Home, Without Kevin, there would be no Emmaus Home.
I was naive. I thought, well, Kevin has 7 siblings. One of them will definitely take him in, and he'll live with them the rest of his life when I pass, when his father passes. And then I went on retreat. There was a priest there, and he said, what makes you think Kevin can live with one of your other children? Is that fair? Does Kevin want that? And I prayed about it, and I thought that he's right. Kevin deserves to have everything his siblings have. So I knew I had to start something when I just didn't see anything really out there that could match the love of his family.
We moved down to Essington into this former parish property that was closed, and we started small with Kevin and getting some supports for him, and pretty quickly we had another young man want to move in, and they wanted a house parent model like L'Arche, found in France. Disabled people live together in community with non-disabled people as caregivers.
I was reading a book by Henri Nouwen called Adam, God's Beloved, about his year-long relationship with Adam, a handicapped man who couldn't even speak. And Father Nouwen was an incredible theologian, a speaker. He went to Harvard. For him to have really discovered God's purpose in his life through Adam just blew my mind. The pastor at the time, who was at St. Margaret Mary, also read the book. So it was like the convergence of the Holy Spirit. He let us live on the whole campus, and that's where we got our start for 2 years.
She goes bowling and she goes out for walks. She gets her nails done, she gets her hair done. The perfect amount of socialization that she needs. But she also has that downtime that she also needs. And I've noticed all the care workers that work with her treat her with dignity and respect, and I would even say love. But I've always noticed that most people that are around her end up just absolutely loving her because she's so much fun, and her disabilities, they kind of go away. I think that's really asking the world to slow down and recognize God in all this.
This is Marcus Jenkins, 23 years old. Marcus is nonverbal. He does have autism. He enjoys being out in the community, seeing people, going to live music events. I think I was pretty quick to pick up on his nonverbal cues, and that's one of the reasons why we have a connection. Helping Marcus grow as a young adult, it's fulfilling.
I know Karen has turned around 1,000% since she's been here. When she was born, a lot of oxygen didn't go to her brain. She's kind of like a teenager. She'd have a lot of meltdowns. She'd have to be the center of attention. But she's happier now, more accepted socially, and I think her self-esteem is higher. We worked with her and she's great. It makes me feel great. It doesn't feel like a burden at all.
So bowling is a favorite amongst the Emmaus Home. Little things make them so happy. It's in simple things. So they can really teach us the meaning of life in a huge way. I think that they're profound, just in who they are. And it's not in doing, but it's in being.
It's a very daunting process as they go from childhood to adulthood. It seems after 21 you're kind of on your own. The difficulty really was trying to find a place that would be like a home. You can let go by trusting that she is in a safe place.
Once a person graduates in this country with special needs at 22, entitlements stop. Now when you're in the entitlement world, everything's great. And then when a person graduates, it's like, oh my gosh, what happened to my TSS? What happened to my wraparound services? Because they end when you graduate. Then you get thrown into the Medicaid world and the standards just like plummet.
Marcus has a lot of self-injurious behaviors when he's frustrated. A lot of his frustrations come down to his inability to communicate effectively with verbal people. It's an emotional roller coaster sometimes. So we're always trying to keep him in a good state where, you know, we're avoiding those behaviors.
This kind of work is high burnout. It's very humbling work. It can be extremely grueling and grinding, which is why our payroll is sky high and all of the money that we take in from the state goes right back out to payroll. So then what's left for programs? What's left for the coffee shop initiative? What's left to have the money to buy a house? You know, there's never anything left. Because our priority is their care and the best possible care.
As a nonprofit that heavily relies on government funding for the work that we do, we break even. We do not have large excess reserves at Emmaus Home, unfortunately. Any funding that goes to a new location is capped, and it's very limited. But everything that we receive goes back into the residents' care. So anything that we are doing that is above average, which is everything we do, has to come from donors and fundraising.
We're their family, and in some cases we are the only family they may have. Their parents may have passed away or for various reasons aren't involved with their lives. We value where they're at and who they are in all the mystery of the disabilities. My son, for instance, has a perpetual Christmas tree in his living room. It's artificial, of course, but he never takes it down. And they get it. Like everybody who's around him, don't judge him and say, why do you have a Christmas tree here all year round? Or why do you have like tons of animatronic spiders all over the house? Because that's Kevin. That's, you know, that's what he likes.
This happened about 4 or 5 years ago. He started like getting a liking to these spiders, and he just wanted more and more. And very little motivates Kevin besides carnivals in the spring and summer. He's very sedentary, so Kevin wants a spider really badly. All right, Kev, well, how about we take a nice walk and we'll find one, you know? We'll take a walk around the block or walk to the church up the street and we'll get a spider. And that's another reason why he has so many spiders, because it encouraged him to walk, getting his muscles moving.
Usually when he is swaying, he'll do that to music or just when he's in a good mood. It helps center him. Just like realizing how smart he is. I mean, you make one wrong turn that he's not familiar with and he will call it out right away. Just his awareness on landmarks. Ever since we started working together, really hit it off. He seems to respond well to me. We almost just hang out like friends. I talk to him, he communicates things to me. I seem to understand what he's trying to communicate. Some people say we almost have a little like secret language where we can just speak by looking at each other. It's hard to put into words, really.
Aaron loves bowling. Well, she's been doing it since she's young. So I think she used to do a bowl with her mother. She's on a bowling league. She goes bowling a couple of times a week. She loves it. She had her own bowling ball and her own bowling shoes, you know, the whole thing.
She goes bowling and she goes out for walks, and she's across the street from a YMCA, so I mean, obviously she's thriving, and what more could you ask for? They need a little bit of help, but just with a little bit of help, their personality blooms, you know? I look at it as a flower, she's just blooming, and isn't that a wonderful thing to see?
Kevin loves rain, so if he wakes up and he sees the sun shining brightly, he says, "Dear God, please let it rain." I mean, that's a very simple prayer, right? Like, most people wouldn't even pay any attention to it. But God does, you know, God sees the details. God's in the details. This is the Beanability Coffee Cafe, a coffee shop where adults with intellectual developmental disabilities come and work, interact with each other and with the greater population that comes in for coffee. It will also be a weekly hub of offerings for the special needs population. Karaoke night, pottery painting night, a Christmas party. We're going to have a game night, a movie night. Because our adults with disabilities have a lot less opportunities. And it's going to hopefully help dispel the fears that a lot of people that don't have disabilities might have toward a person with disabilities.
In 2025, our goal is to raise $100,000 for Emmaus Home. That would allow us to open approximately 3 new homes for our people. One of our major goals for the future is to open an apartment complex and offer that apartment building to people with disabilities and non-disabilities alike, for our individuals that want to live alone. Maybe they have sensory needs and they need a home that's quiet and meets those needs. Has to come from donors and fundraising.
It's a gift to have a person with a disability, really. It's a cross, but a gift. Having grown up with a disabled brother or disabled child, it teaches you about life and how to be truly human. What's humanity about? It's about love, giving, surrendering. True love is unconditional.
Disciples didn't recognize our Lord on the road to Emmaus. And our people with disabilities oftentimes are invisible. But God is twice in the sick and in the poor. We just have to have eyes to see them.
I know that Alana's not the only one out there. And I also know that not everybody is as fortunate as we are to have found this place. And without the funding, they're going to be left out. And I'd hate to see adults like Allie not have a place like this. It's getting the word out.
I love taking care of people. I find that it helps me, feel better about myself, but also helping out other people. I really enjoy the environment and the community that we all have created. As many hands as we can get, that is the best thing that will help out these individuals. They should be living just the way that we do.
You know, I see it as a family, the way they take good care of the staff. As a company that really give me a lot of opportunities, it's also come with incentives. If they say they want to do something, they're going to do it. That is one thing I really appreciate about Emmaus Home.
Christ is most present in the poor and the elderly and the sick. By supporting a local non-for-profit, you're leaving your legacy, planting a seed or a brick for the next Emmaus Home somewhere.
We have a saying at Emmaus Home that we let the light in. We don't keep our people in the dark. We get them out because they are the light. I would invite anyone to come, just spend some time with us. And I can assure you that you will leave that experience feeling a calling to come back. If you are considering gifting funds to a rewarding cause, think about Emmaus Home, our beautiful individuals, incredibly passionate staff. Think about the opportunities that we could continue to provide.
If people don't give, we could have to close our doors. People with disabilities wouldn't have opportunities to come out and to socialize and to work and to learn valuable job skills and volunteering skills. We need to get the word out there. We need to have people come join us for a karaoke night. They can volunteer, can donate. There's so much that can be done. So I think if I could make a pitch, it's for good people to consider being the eyes and the mouth, the voice for another person, and for making a huge impact in the quality of their lives.